Hi there. Today we're tackling a question that definitely never came up in geography class. What would happen if the Earth, our lovely, round planet, got stretched flat into a thin sheet of paper, like the stuff you'd print your homework on? Don't worry, it's not real, but if it were, things would get weird, and probably pretty bad. Let's dive in and find out. First, picture the Earth as a giant rubber ball, about 12,742 kilometers across, weighing roughly 5,972 times 10 to the power of 24 kilograms. Now imagine some cosmic being with a massive iron flattens it into a sheet of paper. Let's say it's 0.1 millimeters thick, like regular printer paper. So how big would this flat Earth be? Right now, as a round ball, the Earth's surface area is about 510 million square kilometers. If we flatten it out, keeping all the same stuff, it's no longer a ball. It's a giant, flat sheet. To figure out the size, we take the Earth's volume, roughly 1,083 times 10 to the power of 12 cubic kilometers, and divide it by the new thickness, which is 0.0001 kilometers. The result? The sheet would cover about 10 quadrillion square kilometers. In other words, this paper Earth would be so huge you could stretch it across the entire solar system. You could fold it into the world's biggest paper airplane, but don't try throwing it. No one wants that crashing into their backyard. But hold on, if the Earth's flat like this, what happens to gravity? On a round Earth, gravity pulls everything toward the center. Now there's no center, just a thin, flat sheet. For a massive, flat surface like this, gravity would pull straight down, but it'd be way weaker because all the mass is spread out instead of clumped together. Let's do a quick guess. Gravity's strength depends on mass divided by area. Since the Earth's mass stays the same, but the area explodes to quadrillions of square kilometers, gravity would drop to maybe a tiny fraction of its normal 9.8 meters per second squared. What does that mean? You could jump dozens of meters high without even trying. But don't get too excited. The air wouldn't stick around either. It'd scatter everywhere, and we'd all be gasping for breath while bouncing around like moonwalking astronauts. Welcome to Flat Earth, the low-gravity, no-air edition. Next, let's talk oceans and atmosphere. On a round Earth, water flows to low spots because of gravity. Now there are no low spots, just one giant flat sheet. With gravity so weak, the oceans wouldn't sit still. They'd spill everywhere, like a massive puddle on your kitchen floor. But since the sheet's so huge, the water would spread thin and evaporate fast as the air disappears too. And the wind? Without the Earth spinning any more, weather would turn into a total mess. You might get crazy supersonic winds ripping across the paper, carrying sand, dust, and maybe your neighbor's car. Basically, the climate would be like a disaster movie, but without the good-looking actors to make it dramatic. So what about us humans? If you somehow survive the no-air part, which is a big if, you'd find yourself standing on this endless, flimsy sheet with an empty sky above. Your house, your trees, and even your dog are probably drifting off somewhere on this infinite flatland. What about the Earth's crust? Normally it's dozens of kilometers thick, but now it's just 0.1 millimeters, thinner than pizza dough. The molten core underneath wouldn't have anything holding it back, so it'd probably burst up like a geological fountain, turning the paper into a sizzling mess. Congrats, you've got a flat Earth, but it's not exactly a dream vacation spot. So there you have it. If the Earth got flattened into a sheet of paper, it'd be a cosmic catastrophe. Air gone, water everywhere, and magma spurting like toothpaste from a tube you squeeze too hard. The takeaway? Round planets are way better. At least your house doesn't float away in a freak flatland windstorm. Next time someone asks, "What if the Earth was flat?" just point them to this, then run for oxygen before it's too late.